Somewhere along the way, carbs got labeled as the enemy, especially for those of us over 40. I hear it a lot, carbs make me gain weight, or cutting out carbs is the only way I can lose weight. The truth is that carbs are not actually the villain. In fact, they're our body's preferred source of energy. The key is to understand which carbs to choose and how they interact with your hormones, because after 40, those hormones shift and the rules have changed a little bit. How our body responds to carbohydrates changes, and the type that we eat matters. Hi, I'm Kobe. I help women over 40 feel stronger, more energized, and more at home in their bodies with food and movement that actually works and feels good in this stage of life. Today, I want to clear up the confusion around carbohydrates so you can finally enjoy them again with far more understanding and far less guilt. For decades, diet culture has told us that carbohydrates make us fat. So naturally, many women start cutting them out: bread, rice, pasta, even fruit sometimes. And yes, you can lose weight when you cut out carbohydrates, but often it comes with side effects like low energy, poor workout recovery, brain fog, irritability, and the dreaded rebound cravings. You know what I'm talking about, that eventually make us overeat. The real problem isn't the carbohydrates themselves, it's the type of carbs and whether we're eating them in balance with protein and fat. Especially after 40, that balance becomes even more important. In last week's video, I talk about how to balance our meals, carbohydrates with fat and protein. If you want more information on how to put some meals together, you can go back to last week's video and it'll give you the details on that. Let's quickly look at the 4 main hormones that affect how we process carbohydrates in our 40s. First of all, there's estrogen. This hormone helps to regulate insulin sensitivity. When estrogen levels decline, naturally this happens in our 40s and beyond, our body becomes more sensitive to blood sugar swings that come from eating too many simple carbohydrates. I'll get into a little more detail on simple carbohydrates in a few minutes. Next is progesterone. This is our calming hormone. As it decreases, many women notice stronger carb cravings, more emotional eating, especially around stress. Cortisol is your stress hormone. When it's high, your body is more likely to store carbohydrates as fat, especially around the midsection. Pairing carbohydrates with protein and fat helps keep cortisol steady. The last hormone we'll touch on is insulin. This is the hormone that helps move sugar out of your blood and into your cells so that your body can use it as energy. After 40, insulin resistance becomes much more common, which is why eating the right kind of carbohydrates and not overloading them makes such a huge difference. So as you can see, it's not about avoiding carbs altogether, it's about eating them in a way that supports our hormone shifts in this stage of life. Here's where it gets practical. There are 2 broad categories of carbohydrates. First of all, there's simple carbs like white bread, pastries, candy, soda, chips. These types are already processed, and then the body doesn't need to break them down. So this creates a spike in the blood sugar, which causes our insulin to surge, resulting in energy crashes, cravings, mood swings, fat storage around the midsection, and ultimately the ones we want to avoid 80% of the time. Next, we have the complex or fiber-rich carbohydrates like quinoa, oats, beans, lentils, sweet potatoes, berries, and all other whole fruit and vegetables. These contain fiber, which is what slows down digestion, keeps our blood sugar stable, and helps us to feel full longer. They also feed our gut bacteria, which plays a big role in hormone balance and mood. So when women tell me carbs make them gain weight, usually they're talking about the simple processed carbohydrates, not the nutrient-dense, fiber-rich ones that our bodies actually thrive on and need. So let's connect the dots. Estrogen and insulin. When estrogen is lower, you're more sensitive to blood sugar swings. So fiber-rich carbohydrates can help keep insulin stable. Progesterone and mood. Pairing carbs with protein can reduce mood crashes that happen when progesterone is low. Cortisol and stress. Balanced meals with complex fiber-rich carbohydrates that we talked about earlier prevent the roller coaster of high stress and low energy. Then we have the relationship between insulin and fat storage. When we eat carbohydrates alone, this can spike insulin, which, as we remember, brings the energy into the cells. And if we're not using that energy, if our body doesn't need it in that moment for a walk or a workout or some sort of activity, our body will end up storing it. But carbohydrates paired with protein and fat help keep insulin in check and then reduce that fat storage. So the big picture, carbohydrates aren't bad. They just need teammates. Protein and healthy fats are what make carbohydrates work for you, not against you. And the type of carbohydrates you're choosing matter. Go for those complex fiber-rich carbohydrates. So here are 3 simple ways to help carbohydrates work for you and what you can do today. Build your meals around protein and then add in a healthy fat. A little bit goes a long way. And then add in those fiber-rich carbohydrates. Choose carbs that still look like the food from nature. Fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes. That means that they're not as processed and the body can use them slower, helping your energy stay longer without hunger spikes and cravings. And then I want you to notice how you feel after different types of carbohydrates. Do a check-in. Do these carbohydrates give you energy or make you crash? Does it give you short-term energy? Does it give you long-term energy? How does it feel in your body, in your mind, in your stomach, in your body? Does it help you with focus or does it do the opposite? Use your body's feedback as your guide because it knows everything. We just got to check in with it. I'll say it again. Carbs are not the enemy. They're actually our ally, especially when they're paired with protein, fat, and when they're fiber rich. By choosing the right types of carbs and eating them in balance, you can support your hormones, your energy, and your metabolism after 40. If you'd like some inspiration on meal creation, I've put together a free resource called Fuel Your 40s Delicious Meals for Fat Loss and Vitality. It includes 9 total recipes, 3 breakfasts, 3 lunches, and 3 dinners that follow the exact balance of protein, fat, and fiber-rich carbohydrates. You can grab it for free from the link in the description. And if this was helpful, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. I share new videos each week to help you feel energized, strong, and confident in your 40s and beyond. Next week, I'm going to introduce to you a free 7-day event that I'm putting together, especially if you're looking for more energy and a simple and easy way to jump into the fall. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.